Hey guys, it's your friendly neighborhood lunacy Embryon. So, a couple days ago, I asked you guys on a poll if you guys wanted my opinion on all the Hellaversus episodes and what I'd rank them. And a lot of you guys agreed that I should make a video on that. And so, this is that video. In this video, I'm going to be ranking all 12 episodes of Hellaversus that I made, starting with the very first one being Lucifer vs. the Devil, and ending with the newest one being Adam vs. Santa. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Welcome to hell!
Now in last place we have King Dice vs. Husk. Now, just to be clear, I don't hate this episode, okay? I think this is a perfectly fine video. It's just that compared to every other episode that I made, I feel like this one could have been just a little bit better. Like, this was the first episode that I did with a script, or where I had to make a script. Yeah, I didn't use a script with Lucifer vs. the Devil, I mainly just had to use my memory on that. But with this one, I definitely had to do some research on this one. And not gonna lie, I really think that I definitely could have done a lot better with this video. Like, maybe a little bit more research and maybe just a little bit more editing with the later episodes. But all in all, this is a very standard episode, and if you disagree with my opinion, that's totally fine.
Gift or no gift, I am just as special as the rest of my family.
At number 11, we have Vaggie vs. Lord Shen. Again, much like Husk vs. Dice, this is one of those videos that I feel like I could have done a lot more in terms of editing and the research part of this video. But I do feel like I did a decent job with this episode. But again, I really did think that I could have done a lot more here, and plus, of all the other matchups, this is probably one of the lower matchups here. I like this matchup, it's just that I don't like it as much as the other matchups in this video. But still, this is a pretty good video, and if you like this video, that's perfectly fine. In 10th place, we have Charlie vs. Cuphead. This was a matchup that I liked at first, but once I really thought about it, I kind of realized how much of a stomp this is. Because we all know how powerful Cuphead is in both the game and the show. The show really implies the cartoon or Toon Force abilities. And it's also the fact that we barely know the full scope of Charlie's abilities. To even have a little fraction of what she can do to Cuphead. Now, this was the third episode, and this was one of the few episodes that has over 1,000 views, so a lot of you guys enjoyed this video, but there is another matchup on this list that is the most popular when it comes to views that I will get to later in this video. But as of right now, this episode stands at number 10 when it comes to my favorites.
And you are? I'm the devil!
In 9th place, we have the episode that started it all, Lucifer vs. the Devil 1. The first episode I ever made that honestly did surprisingly well, or surprisingly better than I expected. This was just supposed to be one episode. I know I said that I was going to make a series out of this, but I didn't really think I would continue this, and I just thought that this is going to be one of those videos that would be forgotten on my channel. But it surprisingly went out surprisingly well. And because of this, look how far we've gone now. To even having 12 episodes, having a full season, and 2 episodes of season 2, and a 3rd episode coming on the way. So it was because of this episode that started Hellaversus as a whole. So it's mainly just because of you guys. But the reason why it's so low is also because of the fact that it doesn't really have as much work in it as the original, and also the editing could be better. I mean, this was the first episode I made where I had to use, or where I didn't use a script. It was a Husk versus King Dice that I used a script for, and then so on and so forth. So this one, I really had to improvise and memorize everything that happened in here. But that's why it's on number 8.
What are you doing in my house? What are you doing in my house?
I want waffle fries!
At number 8, we have Alistair versus Slenderman. Another matchup that I actually kinda like here. This was suggested by somebody in the comments who suggested a whole bunch of different matchups, which was also this one. And seeing this matchup, I actually kind of saw a couple of similarities between the two. Although once I actually did some research on this, I realized that this was yet another stomp for Alistair. But if you want to understand why this is a stomp, I would definitely suggest watching that matchup, and more specifically looking at Slenderman's categories to understand why this is a stomp. But I think this is actually a pretty interesting matchup here. The only reason why it's at number 8 actually is just because I just like the other episodes more here, but we'll talk about those later. The editing is good, the voice acting is pretty cool. I do wish that with some of the voice acting in my videos that I wish I didn't sound like I was bored out of my mind like the earlier episodes. I'm at least trying to add more emotion, or at least more energy into my voice acting, but as of right now, this episode stands at number 8.
Not cool! What is with the massive death force field? This force field was brought to you in part by the Radio Demon.
At number 7, we have Adam versus Santa. This is a matchup that I really had to push out before Christmas because originally, after Charlie versus Jack, I was gonna make Veronica versus Miss Heed as the next episode, but with Blue asking me to make an Adam versus Santa episode, I had to push that out of the way and make Adam versus Santa. So this one was kind of rushed, but I honestly kind of like it a little bit. I mean, it's not the best one, or it's not the best matchup ever, but from where it stands, it's actually pretty decent. Now, is it better than his other fight with Adam versus Death? Not really, but that's kind of my opinion. Also, comment down below if you like Adam vs. Death or Adam vs. Santa as an episode 1. But where it stands, Adam vs. Santa is at number 7 on this list.
Angels attack quickly, viciously, and without mercy. You'll need to defend better than that.
Ready.
At number 6, we have Carmilla Carmine versus Master Tigress. Unlike all the other matchups talked about in Hellaversus, this was the only matchup that I came up with. I never seen anyone talk about this specific matchup before. Usually with Carmilla, it's usually the basic ones like Garnet from Steven Universe or any other character. But with this one, this was a matchup that I made up because I kind of saw some similarities between here because they're both martial arts masters, or one of them is a martial artist and the other one is a kung fu master, but you get the point here. And a lot of you guys seem to like this matchup. This is one of my personal favorite matchups with Carmilla Carmine. And honestly, I can't wait to do some more matchups with Carmilla in the future.
Everyone thinks they'll be the one to defeat me, but no one's escaped me yet.
At number 5, we have Adam versus Death. This is a really weird matchup if you think about it, because neither of these guys have anything in common with the two. I mean, one is the literal personification of death, and the other is the first man who have ever been created by God. But I've considered liking this matchup a lot the more I think about it, and if you have seen some of my shorts, you'll know that I recently made a brand new Adam vs. Death short, and in that short I basically said that Death would win against Adam, and I can kind of see this fight going in between here, like Death dodging some of Adam's lasers or his holy light attacks, and Adam trying to hit Death with his guitar axe, with Death actively avoiding it. But this matchup is honestly kind of fun. Do I think it's better than some of the other ones? Yes, but the other ones that are about to be talked about, absolutely not. And speaking of which,
Yeah, now who wants some quality time with Daddy?
at number 4, we have Blitz versus Deadpool. Probably the funniest matchup to ever exist on this series. If you really think about it, both of them have a lot going for them. I mean, both of them are experts when it comes to using guns. Both of them use a lot of profanity in their language. And, I mean, that's kind of about it. But if you think about it, this would be a really fun matchup. And not only that, but this, again, would also be the funniest matchup if this were to ever happen. So, even though a lot of people may think that this is a stomp for Deadpool and that Blitz would lose, I feel like that both of them, or I feel like that this would be a pretty good matchup when it comes to being back and forth, if we're only including the movie version of Deadpool and not the comics, because the comics would absolutely destroy Blitz. But where Deadpool versus Blitz stands, this is at number 4.
Nice work, Bone Daddy.
The Pumpkin King.
At number 3, we have Charlie versus Jack Skellington, my second favorite of Hellaversus matchup of all time. And if you know me, you know my number one favorite matchup in all of Has-Been and Hell of a Boss. But this matchup is one of those matchups where I think could go either way, but it's only going in Jack's favor just because we barely know the full scope of Charlie's abilities. Like, we know that she has pyrokinesis, which is the ability to control fire, and that she also has the ability to change into her demon form and change Razzle and Dazzle into giant dragon forms of themselves. But that's basically about it when it comes to her abilities, because we don't know the full scale of what she can do. Whereas Jack, sure, he's agile, but he also has a bunch of different weapons going into his favor if we consider the movie and the game versions. So because of this, Charlie versus Jack is number 3 when it comes to my favorites.
What the? Looks like you could use some help.
At number 2, we have Lucifer versus the Devil Part 2. This was a follow-up to the first episode because, again, this is my favorite Hellaversus matchup of all time. And personal conversations with, or not personal conversations, but just conversations with the original Fantastic Five. We were talking about Hellaversus matchups and how it's basically like Death Battle. And I was joking around, and I thought that this was basically like my equivalent of Death Battle's Goku versus Superman, just because it's already been done multiple times, and I've honestly been thinking about making a third one just to actually make that connection. But all jokes aside, this is my second favorite episode just because it's a lot better than the first one. It's everything that the first one could have been, because the editing is done very well, and I've tried making a couple different videos to add on to this one, like the kind of like the intros for or before we actually go into the backstories, and also the little clips to make it seem like they're a part of the same universe. Those tiny little things kind of make this episode a lot better. But where it stands, this is number 2 on my list. However, there's another Lucifer matchup that's just a little bit better. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. This is my favorite episode because of how personal it is to me. I mean, sure, the episode itself, or the matchup itself, is a big stomp because we all know Bill Cipher would absolutely destroy the entire Has-Been verse, including Lucifer. But the reason why this is my favorite matchup is because it brought the Fantastic Five together. Yeah, this was the first episode to have the first episode to where all of the members of the Fantastic Five came together. And then after that, the entire group formed, and after that, we added 2 more members to the Fantastic Five, making it the Fantastic Seven. So this is a personal matchup because it brought me and new friends in together to make our own little fun groups where we get to hang out, talk, make new Hellaversus matchups, and just act like a bunch of idiots. So if you guys are watching this right now, the guys that are in the Fantastic Seven right now, then this is my favorite matchup because I got to meet all of you guys. So thank you guys for sticking around with me. And also thank you guys for watching this video. Did you guys like how I ranked all these? Are you upset with some of them, or do you prefer how I like them? Let me know down in the comments below. And also comment down below how or what you would rank all the Hellaversus matchups. I would really love to hear your opinions on that. And also, make sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications to be notified when a brand new video is released, and also comment down below some more Hellaversus ideas, because King Dice vs. Vox is going to be coming out very soon, along with 2 other episodes that are going to be coming out. And one of those is another Death Battle episode, since a lot of you guys liked my first Death Battle episode when I ranked my top 15 most wanted Death Battle episodes. But that's going to be it for today's video, folks. I've been your host, Lunas the Umbreon, and I'll catch you guys next time. And as always, subscribe, help me get a